Yeah. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had a bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
How rap turned bad, I never know. I remember Ozone and Turbo and Curtis Blow solo singing. These are the breaks. The first time I heard a Too Short tape. Controversy on where it started and what state. In '88, I watched it elevate. It got so large that corporate America made it circulate. Now thanks to that, it's money in gangsta rap. Tried to eliminate vinyl, man, these motherfuckers done snap. I feel like that was direct blow, aimed toward the ghetto. They don't fucking rock and roll, it's like taking guitars out of heavy metal. And I ain't gonna settle for that, so I keep my shit waxed. For my hip hop heads and my turntable and crate cats. Down to keep it underground, without the railroad. 100 million copies made, that's 100 million copies sold. So fuck platinum and gold, I'm on some next level, yo. Make the scientists add an element to the periodical. I'm Christopher Columbus, I'm unchartable. Until I hit land, the dirtiest nigga around. Esau, shit, black sand. And I ain't a liar, I do it for the money and the fans and the power that I feel. When the mic's in my hands, it be like
who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
Yo, push the envelope, raise prices up and down like ski slopes. Ghetto wishes and lost hopes. Move past the slowpoke, selling chopped up soap. I parlay amongst my people, I parlay amongst my folks. Spitting hip hop quotes. This rap life, this street life ain't no motherfucking joke. I'm daily dreaming about 30,000 dedicated fans. Real life one-man bands, DJ speaking with his hand. But on the other hand, we splurge grands. Rolling in a full-size Chevy conversion van. Thinking up power moves, schemes and scams. And how can we make these G's expand? My next plan, credit card scheme and scan. Triple beams and grams. Before this thing called hip-hop, I take a first stand.
To make a statement. I'm trying to be your man when boys is trying to be complacent. My motivation is to inspire innovation. Without hesitation, we pioneers in this situation. Real MCs are chosen to create messages spoken. Hip-hop's a way of life that can't be taken from a joking. Now through it all, I stand and pledge my devotion. Let my words soothe the world like tough skin and lotion. Lessons of life are vitamins again and again. Stress up my shoulders through the weed and the pen. I holds my head up, walking through doors of the setup. Cause niggas wait for niggas to fall, that's how they place their bet up. I'm not afraid, since hip-hop needs an upgrade. It's time to be the Grand Marshal of the ticker tape parade. I try to say what most won't, and do what most don't. Stop thinking that I can't, and stop saying that I ain't. I dare to be different, yo, that's part of being gifted. Take charge, loom large, make sure my people is uplifted. I push for the realness, till God decide to end it. The mid mess my domain, so I ride out independent. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? And take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope. Who's keeping it real? Who's really had the bad deal? What's the point of a pill and touching what you can't feel? Take each quote, let that provide hope. Now walk in silence and push the envelope.
Today, we champion the black men who've taken the reins of their lives, leading the way in family, finance, and purpose, their own unique F.F.P. We're here to uplift and to highlight the black men whose personal brands shine, illuminating the best within our community. The essence of our community lies in the power of dependability, of being useful, and consistently exuding confidence, intelligence, and assertiveness. That's the man we're here to celebrate. A man who truly embodies a meaningful, accountable nature. A true man. But our praise doesn't stop there. We raise our hats to the black women whose public and private actions beautifully mirror the strength and grace of our black men. Together, They weave the vibrant fabric of our community. Now let's celebrate the mantra that binds us. Dare to be bold, not silent. That's our rallying cry here at the Real Bravado Network. We're all about character, personal growth, and fostering a culture of accountability, all framed by this bold mantra. Our name, Real Bravado, represents our spirit, the essence of being truly bold. And that's our mission for every live stream, every conversation we have. So, let's dive into this journey together. And remember, we're here to be real, to be bold. Let's start this conversation, folks. Welcome, everyone, to our exciting live stream here on RBN, your trusted Real Bravado Network. This is your moment, your space. This is Have the Conversation. And every black man, start your day with 3 words. I'm a king.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall, you getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can do. Can't even get lost, I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold, I don't do no hoes, I got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king, I told you guys before. Ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all this parts, item to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with
Welcome everybody, we are your RBN, your Real Bravado Network, where we address black people issues, especially those issues that keep black folk from being together. My name is EJ, and I am your facilitator on this journey. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Before we get started, everybody, right off the back, let's do something.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Shout out to the 3D Radio for the $10 super chat. Support the grind as RB and please salute, brother. Salute to you too. You guys know how I feel about the super chats and the support that you guys give me. Thank you for showing back up. I'm actually not going to keep a lot of you that long tonight because of the topic, because this is already addressed it this morning. Oh, hold on a minute. Before we get started, let me not forget, please
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, acknowledge the Real Bravado Network. Acknowledge those in the chat. Acknowledge those that support. Acknowledge those who send me hateful comments after the stream. Acknowledge them too, because they're all part of the conversation. All right, real quick, everybody.
Let me talk to you.
All right, let me talk to you. So earlier today, I gave my thoughts on the young lady that was killed by the police. I believe it was in Ohio. One of the things that I started out that stream by saying was I was very leery about how I was going to come across on this. Let me explain something to you. Especially those of us who are doing our live streams and we're giving our opinions. Believe it or not, you can be conflicted on one issue. You can have dual perspectives on one issue. And sometimes when you have a dual perspective, sometimes it's a little hard to get that out and convey it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you want to, when they start a football game, they flip a coin. Let's just say a quarter. That quarter has a head side and the tail side. And they flip the quarter and it either will land on heads or will land on tails. Just because it will land on heads or tails does not mean that that quarter is still not a quarter. So my perspective this morning, in a nutshell, was there were some accountability issues with the police department. There were some accountability issues with the young lady. I believe genuinely the primary responsibility of the situation was the lady. You may not always control what comes to you to a degree, but you damn sure control how you respond to it. So I'm going to take a few minutes, and I actually, right after my stream ended, one of my content creating buddies, M.A.N Live, actually dropped a premiere on the very subject, a video on the very subject. And M.A.N had one perspective. And let me be perfectly clear because we're going to get into her video, because I pulled it and I'm going to talk about her video. Let me be perfectly clear while I go through her video. M.A.N's thesis, her overarching point, I absolutely agree with. I absolutely agree with her overarching point in theory. So let's not let that get lost in the translation anywhere, that I disagree with her overarching thesis and theory about and her assessment about the situation. I do not disagree with M.A.N, but some things are a little bit nuanced. And for me, this particular issue, it was nuanced. It had quite a few different elements to it. And I want to kind of break down where me and Messi probably, not that we disalign, but our perspective on it is a little bit different. Even though I think we come to the same conclusion, but we kind of, I think, on two different paths on it, which is perfectly fine. This is why you have multiple content creators develop their perspective on it, because you might come to the same conclusion, but got two different ways of getting to that. And I dropped the link in the chat. I'm not going to be on long, so I would actually, if I could get somebody, if you guys so are in the situation where you can, come on up and let's talk about this together, okay? Hopefully Almanize will do so, or Mr. Gaines, or whatever, whoever come up. But let's get to it real quick. Let me go ahead and start M.A.N's video.
Without showing the video, there's no need for me to show the video. I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it. I heard about the story originally and said I was going to wait until body cam came out, because you just never know. You just never know, okay? So shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Their caption reads, Ohio Police Department released by...
Before we get into it, I also, when I'm listening to people, I'm listening to their tone and the emotions in their tone. I'm listening to Messy Michelle. I'm listening not just to the words she's saying, but I'm listening to how she delivers this. M.A.N is exhausted. That's the thing that I get. I mean, maybe she's exhausted from her vacation that she's on. No, I don't know how you can be exhausted from vacation. But I believe covering this issue yet again, to me, this comes across her tone, her delivery, her cadence. It seems to me that it might come across like she's a little bit exhausted. Okay, that's just me. I wonder if anybody else has any other perspective on that. I'm going to let it rip.
Body cam footage of the moment a pregnant woman was SHOT'd and deleted after Kroger employees accused her of stealing alcohol. As we previously reported, Takaya Young was SHOT'd by an officer through the window of her car in the Kroger parking lot. Her unborn daughter did not survive. Police Chief John Belford.
Now, to me, that is the most tragic piece of this entire ordeal. Somebody who damn sure did not have a say in the events that unfolded lost their life due to a series of bad choices that were made. And no matter how you slice it, no matter where you want to place the bulk of the blame, let me take both sets of parties, the police department and the young lady, contributed to the death of that baby. They both did. That's my perspective on this. And that's the most tragic part. And I believe the unborn child was a girl, another Black woman.
Spoke out about the incident and claims Young and several other people were stealing from the store before the SHOTING took place. 2 officers happened to be in the parking lot already because they were helping someone who was having car troubles, but then an employee allegedly ran out of the store and told them that they seen Young stealing from the store and pointed to her as she was getting in her car. Officers approached her car, and that's when the devastating moment took place.
Now, earlier today, if you want to go back to part 1, I played the video. And M.A.N is, I believe she's reading from the reading a report. And let me tell you something from my perspective. It wasn't a casual walk up, hey, how you doing, from the police department. Now, I expect the police to be police. I expect them to behave in the manner that they behave when it comes to interacting with us. Is this a race issue? Not entirely. And let me speak to the race issue real quick. To sit here and say, I'm all about personal accountability, but to sit here and say that something in the United States of America, everything that we encounter has to do with race. That is an uncomfortable truth. My new saying, call a thing a thing. Everything that we deal with goes through the prism of race. Now, with that being said, race might not be the primary motivator in the action, but to sit there and say that race is not a contributory factor we're not being honest there. It might not be the overarching or the motivating factor, but how law enforcement decides how they approach someone, how they decide the demeanor and way in which they approach an individual has absolutely there is absolutely a racial component. One of the officers approached the vehicle with their weapons drawn for a stolen item. And I'm not belittling the art of stealing. I've been stolen from, even recently. So I understand the actual violation of property being removed against your will, or somebody just helping themselves. I understand it. But this officer, to say that it wasn't, that there was not some, even in the subconscious, a race thing, why would one officer not pull his weapon? The officer that's the closest to the lady did not pull his weapon. He's back on the job. But the officer that took his dumb ass and stood in front of the vehicle, and he's a dumbass, because you don't need to be trained to know not to step in front of a vehicle when somebody's in it. I don't care if the damn vehicle is running or not. But this is what this officer did. But to say that I do not believe that her being black was the motivating factor for the officers approaching her. I do not believe that at all. I do not believe this was a race-based shooting to a degree. I believe that it was a contributory factor because of how hot they came at this woman. And it's not like they were coming hot after a violent, vicious encounter with somebody. This woman's in her car, and even if, let's just say, for the sake of argument, she did steal some liquor, stealing liquor is not enough provocation for an officer to draw his service weapon. You draw your service weapon, that means you intend to use it. So he intended, you have to have that mindset that you intend to use your service weapon when you draw it. So he felt the need to draw his weapon over some alcohol. And I'm not bashing or browbeating the officer, but good God, when you draw your weapon, when you get scared or frightened or nervous, or your adrenaline is up there, you're more likely to pull the trigger than to do something else. We'll get to her.
According to CNN, the officer who was seen on the driver's side of the car has returned back to work, but the officer that let off the SHOT is still under investigation. Okay. So allegedly, this woman on the screen went into Kroger with her 2 kids while she was pregnant, allegedly, and was stealing alcohol with a bunch of different people. The bunch of different people got away. They ran. Obviously, I guess with 2 kids and being pregnant probably slowed you down a little bit. Allegedly. She got into a car, allegedly, that did not have license plates, and, that's kind of a big red flag right there. The employees came out and said, hey,
Michelle, I don't understand what you mean by big red flag, because the car did not have license plates. When you buy a new car, when you buy a car, even from a used dealership, oftentimes they don't come with license plates. A lot of times they come with temp tags or just the dealer plates on them. I'm not making no excuses, but I don't know. I don't really understand what you mean by big red flag. And I wish you wasn't on vacation so I can actually ask you this. But that's what I want to know what you mean by that.
Hey, this was going on, and they went over there. The one officer next to the door said, get your ass out, get your ass out. And she wasn't getting out. And then the other officer went to the front. His weapon was drawn. And then the car started moving forward towards him. Did it go quickly?
The moment, first of all, the moment an officer because in the video, I had to go back and watch it after my stream. In the video, he did say to the lady, you're not going anywhere. That essentially means that that's another way of him saying you're being detained. When you are being detained, that means you are not free to move about. That does not mean you are under arrest. That doesn't mean that you committed a crime. That just means that you are not free to move about, and we need to investigate. I stated earlier today that as when you have police encounters, when they legally detain you, whether that detention is legal or not, I'm not even arguing the validity of the detention. If they detain you, you only have 2 rights. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to an attorney. Other than that, you have no other rights. And it's in your best interest to exercise those rights. You are under no obligation in any state in this country. You are under no obligation to provide any answers to the police officers. None. You are not required to answer any questions because the Fifth Amendment of the United States gives you the right to remain silent, which is the first thing they tell you when they place you under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. And if I were you, that's what I would do. I was pulled over recently, and the police officer came to my window and he goes, "Hey, do you know why I stopped you?" And I said to him, "I do not answer questions, and I am invoking my right to remain silent. I will comply with all orders." When that cop pulled me over, I turned off my car, I rolled down my window, and I had my documents ready. And all I did was present him the documents. I did not answer any question. Any question he asked me, I told him, I do not answer questions. I reserve the right to remain silent. I told him that 3 times. He asked me about 6 questions. After the 3rd time, I just stopped talking. Because I don't want to give this person, now if he wanted to pull me out and arrest me or tow my vehicle, or if he wanted to go all there over a traffic stop, it would have been perfectly fine with me. I would have got my car back. I have enough to retain a lawyer to at least pursue if I thought my rights were being violated. But you have the right to remain silent. But unfortunately, and Messi Michonne's going to get into it. Hold on.
I don't think the car lunged quickly, but it was definitely moving in the direction of said officer. Okay. So here's my thought, and I know it's going to be a lot of people that ain't going to like it, as per usual. First of all, rest in peace to this girl and that baby. Let me first start off with that. I wanted to tell you from the gate, save the victim blaming for your mama. Okay? This is not victim blaming. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean anyone is victim blaming. Let me tell you something. Y'all Negroes, you coloreds, keep running off at the mouth with the daggone police, and then you get surprised at the results.
Yes. Some of us have that bad. And I understand the need to do that. Black people, let me be perfectly clear with you. We do. You might not like this. You might think it's unfair. I'm an American. I got whatever. You have to be blind, dumb, deaf, and stupid to not understand the way law enforcement sees you. It doesn't matter who you are. They have a perception of Black people. They have a perception of Black men. They have a perception of Black women. It's not fair. It's not everybody. It's not all of us. Hell, it's not even the majority of us. But they have a perception of us. And unfortunately, when you are interacting with them fuckers, when you are interacting with law enforcement, you have to assume that that officer has the worst view of you, and you need to act accordingly, which is this: you have the right to remain silent. One of the downfalls, and Almanize just brought it up. Almond, come on up. I don't know what situation. Come on up. One of the scary things about our Black women today is too many of our Black women have this incessant need to try to prove a point. They have an incessant need to play tough Tony. They have an incessant need to jump up in your face and to challenge you. You ain't gonna talk to me that way. You ain't gonna disrespect me that way. They have an incessant need to be confrontational. And it almost doesn't matter if it's a family member, another Black man, a police officer. It almost doesn't matter. And then we have this whole entire movement around Black women that Black women are not protected. We cannot protect something that we don't have any influence over. Wish it was a Def Comedy Jam. Welcome to the stage, Almond Eyes.
Hey, how are you?
Hey there.
This right here. I was going I was gonna go live on this later on tonight, but since you're on, we can go ahead and chop it up. This is just it's it's a lot. Because on
It's
one hand you got like you said, the police, you know what I'm saying, coming in hot. Then on the other hand, you got, you know what I'm saying, B Dub, you know what I'm saying, I can do what I want, rules don't apply to me, you out here, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think she was in there stealing, and she was in there pregnant with them keys, and thought they was gonna be a distraction. Because I actually saw a video earlier this morning where it was these two chicks in the Bath and Body Works, and one of them was in there pregnant, and they stole like $5,000 worth of stuff, and all she was screaming was, "Y'all need to let me go because I'm pregnant." Like, no, but I mean, I think so. You had that, and I think for the officer that actually did the shooting, because another angle I saw last night when I was doing some research on this, um when he was still trying to help the lady get back in her car, because that's why he was there. She got locked out and he was trying to help her get in, and from his camera, once, you know what I'm saying, all you kept hearing was the other officer saying, "Get out the car, get out the car." You know what I'm saying? You need to get out the car. You know what I'm saying? They said, you are accused of stealing, get out the car. It was like maybe 15, 20 times. All you kept hearing was get out the car. So when he decided to go over there, he, you know what I'm saying, went over there with the weapon drawn because the other officer kept telling her to get out the car. So you already in the car. You more than likely guilty of whatever they getting ready to accuse you of. You got one officer telling you to get out the car, and then you see the other one coming with his gun drawn. At that point, put all that B dub black woman hyena energy away, especially if she had her two kids. Now I haven't heard, you know what I'm saying, anybody report other than Mashawn that she had her kids with her. But at that point, like, why is your motherly instinct not kicking in, even if it's to the point where, I'm gonna have to eat this crap just to make sure me and my kids get out alive? Because again, yeah, black people shooting police. I mean, police shooting black people is not, you know, something that's out of the ordinary. That's pretty much. I mean, it's to the point now where just police, period. Because remember the guy in Memphis, he,
they
you
were
know what I'm saying,
black.
got beat to death by black police officers, and they got to figure out how to let them go. Because they just, I read something earlier where they have thrown out like 20 charges, total like 20 charges between, I think it was like the five of them. I'm like, y'all, the black people, we do not come out on the winning end against the police. So I mean,
And
it's
that's all I'm
2023.
saying. And that's all I'm saying. Listen, as a man, it is absolutely one of the worst. I mean, not just as a man, but as a person, it is one of the
Mm-hmm.
worst feelings to sit there and have to allow somebody to degrade you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's a when I'm when it's one of us and we're interacting with the police,
Mm-hmm.
you always have to you always have to have the understanding this could be life or death for me.
Absolutely.
You could be doing everything right. Look at Philando Castile in Minnesota.
Exactly.
He was in his car.
Exactly.
The only thing Philando Castile did was tell the officer, "I have a concealed carry permit." The
Mm-hmm.
officer took out his gun and shot and killed him.
And
It
started
was made
shooting. Now, right
in the
now, if he
backseat.
hadn't have told him, that would have been a problem as well. I think he was gonna shoot him either way, whether he
Either
told him or
way,
not. He
I'm
was gonna
just
shoot him
saying,
either way.
as black people, I'm begging our black women, and I kind of said it earlier, ladies, and I know this is gonna sound harsh. There's no really fun way to say this. You guys gotta learn to shut the fuck up.
Thank you. Absolutely. I absolutely, like, when I
You
tell,
have
I'm
to
saying,
do that.
people that they're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like,
And I know
look,
I know the need that our women are like, why do I got to do that? Because your life is on the line. It doesn't even matter if
mhm,
it's a police, if it's a police officer. Look what happened in Chicago. Learn
mhm,
when to shut the fuck up. Believe it or not, men know that better than women.
yeah, absolutely, definitely agree with
If
that.
I'm engaging in a situation, I don't care if it's another man or if it's another woman. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. But when I see the temperature rising, the next steps are not worth it to me. Unless you are going to physically do something to me, I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from the situation. But our women need to learn to shut the fuck up. Now, just because she wouldn't comply with him and being combative, what made this situation untenable is how hot they came in. So for me, I place the onus on her because you have to know in this country, she's 21 years old. If you are 5 years old, and black, you already know what time it is, because these are conversations that are happening across all social economic platforms within the black community. It don't matter if you poor and you in the housing project or you are affluent black. We all know once we are outside of our home, we get pulled over, we just that nigga.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, we all black. So let me ask you this. Do you think, because for me, I definitely feel like the second officer came in hot, but the first one, I think he started out for him.
Yes, he came in hot too. Now, your job as a police officer is to always remain calm. I don't buy this whole we need extra training bullshit, because we see time and time again when they're dealing with Timmy who walking down the street with a fucking assault rifle, they seem to remain
calmed in.
Calmed in.
But then they get around us and they get jumpy
about nothing. Now, that's why I put the onus on us. I know it's not fair. What I'm asking of us, I know it's not fair. I don't care about what's fair. I care about you keeping your life intact. Let them have that moment. It's only a moment.
Exactly.
Let them have that moment.
Versus you laying on, because she's laying on slab somewhere. They got to go fund me together trying to, get her, find a resting situation together. And then if her two kids were there and they actually saw, they traumatized. So, I mean, like, that 10, 15 minutes of, you just sitting there biting your tongue, is for me, is worth it when you could have had the rest of your life, because here you are 21 years old and it's over.
It's over. You ain't
behind what?
And at 21, she ain't done nothing with her life.
Nah.
And you are past 21. At 21, I was still trying to get my ass through college.
Yeah, 21, I was coming out. Yeah.
I was,
for real.
I was a little delayed, had a couple bumps along the way, but I was still trying to. It wasn't too much sooner after that I came out. Maybe like another less than a year later, I was out, but I was still trying to, because I had some bumps along the way. But I went to college when college was college, before this online.
Exactly. So all of this like we had a meal plan, we had dorm rooms, like we had the whole parking spaces. We had, for real college.
I went to for real college. Yeah. I actually went to college where you actually had to learn something.
I remember that.
Where you actually had to learn, you had to know your subject to come out of there, because you had to. I went to college when you had to have real discussion in classes, not discussion boards online.
Yeah, you had a whole thesis, and you better show up and show out, or guess what, you're gonna do it all over again.
So I went with school, not this phony baloney crap that they got going on now. But yes, and so when I listen at Michonne's streams, they're very focused, and sometimes with me, I like to tackle the nuances sometimes. And I don't want to sit here, because I completely agree with Michonne's ultimate assessment. I don't want to take away from the fact that these cops contributed to her death. They absolutely did. They absolutely did, because this was not something that was, to me, it's like, does the punishment fit the crime? It was not worth them coming in hot over some liquor, if that's what she stole.
Right.
Come on now. Let's keep things in perspective. Because they initiate. Now, yes, if she was a part of the snatch and grab gang, I get all of that. You know, she didn't get her ass up out of there quick enough. I get all of that if she was part of the snatch and grab gang. But you know what else I haven't seen yet? And I said this earlier. As you know what else I haven't seen? I haven't seen the video footage of the snatch and grab gang.
Now, based on what I read last night, they're holding on to that for the investigation for the cop who did the shooting.
That's bullshit.
That's what they said. I'm just reporting on what
now,
I read. So
damn well,
because that was my question. I was like, so was the stuff in the car?
Now
I mean, that was one of my first questions.
Now you know damn well if they had that footage, they would have released that before the body cam footage. Oh, see,
True.
Remember with Mike Brown? They released the footage of him having that confrontation in the store. I don't want to hear that crap.
I think that's their story.
I don't care what their story is. I know bullshit when I hear bullshit. And until they present me with additional evidence, I'm calling bullshit on the fact that she actually had something. I'm not saying that she wasn't a part of it. I'm not saying that she wasn't there or was a piece of this. But if they had her or the rest of the snatch around gang or her included with the snatch and grab gang, we would have that already. Remember all of these Walmart videos with these people doing all they release all of that crap. All of it.
That's what I don't like about the whole body cam, you know what I'm saying, footage situation, because it's not the just, you know what I'm saying, press play and let it roll. It's edited up. So I'm not telling what all they cut out, because I mean they admitted that it was edited before they even dropped it. So I'm like, just if you go give me the whole thing, I already know it's messed up. I already know she, you know what I'm saying, is not here anymore. Just run the whole video and stop playing.
Stop playing. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me get to the rest of Michonne's video. Hold on a second, Armin. Let me get to the rest of let me see. Is there a way to put you on the screen? There we go.
That you get. You don't comply. You don't do what they ask. You don't just show the ID. She could have easily gotten up out of the car. She could have gotten a fine. That ass wasn't going to jail. That would have been that. That would have been that. You Negroes just think that you can pop off at the mouth anywhere, anytime with anybody, and you think you're going to trot out racism any old time. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they're going to say.
I'm listening to not only what Messy Michonne is saying, I'm listening to her tone. She's sick and tired. She's sick and tired of us. She's tired of people not thinking. I don't think Michonne is truly sitting here and apathetic about this girl lost her life. I think she's more apathetic about the fact that she wasn't thinking. We don't think. And too many of our women are out here, man. And let me tell you something. Age ain't got nothing to do with it.
Well, I mean, it's clear she wasn't thinking. She 21. You already got 2 babies, and then you got another one, and then you feel like participating in the snatch and grab. It is the move. So we already know she wasn't thinking. And then as far as the police, you literally, my thing is, because from what I understand, she's still, you know what I'm saying, on papers from allegedly beating her grandma. So my thing is, if that part was, you know what I'm saying, actually true, I've been, trying to dig, trying to find, you know what I'm saying, her sheet or whatnot. If that's true and you already knew you was, you know what I'm saying, on that act, right? What are you doing? First, are you pregnant? The baby was supposed to be due in November. It's September. Like, whatever that was going on, that could have waited.
Let me tell you something.
I mean, not that you even need to be participating in that in the first place. And then this was on like a Thursday. So I'm like, what happened to going to work? Because these was like work hours. There's just like nothing about what she had going on the whole trajectory. Like, even looking at this picture. I mean, this picture tell you everything you need to know. Like, this is literally, I mean, this she a hood rat hyena.
Let me tell you
and
something.
It sound like folks was trying to help her back in the day, but this is what she wanted to do. So this is what this is where you end up, and you can't fight it.
Let me tell you something, and I know I'm just projecting right now, but I don't care. I call cap on the whole grandmama shit. Let me tell you why. Because you Black. She 21. She
Mhm.
21. Her mama probably 38, 39. Her grandma probably
If
50.
she that old.
Damn, thank you. Thank you. Her mom got to be at least 30, maybe. And we're being generous. Grandma probably 55, 54. This girl probably comes from two other generations of Thoughtzilla's.
Yeah.
So, and when you have grandma dysfunctional, mama dysfunctional, what the hell you think daughter gonna be?
Yeah, so she was TIT, Thoughtzilla in training.
Yes. And so they probably let me tell you something. I've seen, look, let's call a thing a thing. I've seen situations where grandmama, mama, and daughter are all effing the same dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting that on her, but all you can do is just take the evidence and draw a conclusion whether that conclusion is correct or not. Come on, man. We do some real foul stuff within our own community, and then I'm just flummoxed over all of this because it did not have to happen. This did not have to happen. There's so many things that could have not happened, but the ultimate responsibility is on her. And I wish Michonne, because I know if Michonne was on vacation, she'd be up in here talking to me right now about this, because I hear the frustration in her voice. I know what she's saying, but I'm also listening to the emotion behind it. Those of us, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're tired of talking to our women. We're tired of talking to, speaking of our women, tomorrow, Almond Eyes, if you think I got smoke for this young lady.
Uh-oh. Please don't tell me you about to do the woman with the bread, because I'm about to get into her.
Nope. I'm going to be talking about a guy. He's a father. Ooh. He's a father. He's the primary parent for his 9-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And I'll give you this much of the story. The high-rise building in which he lived in, the maintenance people, the apartment complex, the management apartment complex was scheduled to evict his next-door neighbor, but instead, while he was at work, they came into his apartment and got rid of all of his stuff.
Wait a minute, what?
I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to say this. It was his fucking fault.
Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah. Let me figure out how to get rid of my clients for tomorrow so I can be fully focused on that, because I need to hear this.
And when I was talking to somebody about this, they were arguing me up and down that I was dead ass wrong, and the apartment complex did this and did that to them. And then when I broke it down how and why it was his fault and how he's not a good father, because all in the comments, all of the GoFundMes, all of the support was talking about how much he's a good father and all this, that, and the third. Man,
but see, that's the thing. We too emotional. Like, use some common sense is not common. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. We too emotional. Like, by the time you get to getting the information, your emotions have already turned your brain off. Well, most black people, their brain already turned off. So even if you're trying to, get the information to them, they stay in emotion. And that's how you get messed up. So yeah, I'm about to figure out how to get rid of my clients for tomorrow, because I need to hear that.
So that's a side note. But Michonne is absolutely frustrated, and Derek Gaines, I guess so. When from there, you can assume that one can assume that the police just shot her for stealing. I mean, I can actually make the argument that's what they did because of how hot they came in. I don't want to sit here and just kind of beat up the police because I got my own personal perspective of them. Okay. There is bad decision making on the law enforcement side. There is
bad decision on her side.
I'll call her side catastrophic. Catastrophic. Our cops got to stop coming into pedestrian situations like a retail theft. You got to stop coming in there hot like you're fucking Rambo.
Exactly.
You're making the situation worse. And you don't know, and every cop believes that just because you're a cop, that somebody's going to just sit there and listen to you. That's not going to happen. I know they tell you that.
Yeah.
Get out your damn feelings. I mean, growing up, and when I was a teenager in my young 20s, I'm sorry, but the police officers did not act like this. They didn't.
No, I can say that, and I'm in the South, and I mean,
they did not act like this. And let me tell you something. Through college, I done got jappy with so many cops, it ain't even funny. Cussing them out, getting in their face. I had no fear of them pulling out their weapon and just shooting, killing me.
mm-hmm.
But these
Try that
jokers,
today and see what happens.
but these jokers today, these are the scariest motherfuckers on the planet. And they're supposed to. That's why I talked about it early today that the moniker "protect and serve" it's propaganda. Protect and serving what? What do you mean by protect and serve? Define that for me. What does that look like? Because I don't see protect and serve anymore. Anyway, let's get back to Messy Michonne.
Okay. Here, but the odds are, if they both white, that's what's gonna happen. It's racist. It's racist. It's racist. This foolishness with the black people do no wrong is got to go.
Mm-hmm.
When did black people become perfect? When are black people absolved? Oh, because over 500 years ago there was slavery, so every black person today should get away with anything that they want to, regardless of what it is, no matter who it's done to, just because they black. Y'all wasn't here for no damn slavery. Not near person listening to this daggone video was here for no daggone slavery.
Look, on another side note, listen, I was listening to Bill Maher debate Charlemagne the God about reparations, right? Mm-hmm. And Bill Maher was just like, but it didn't happen to you. But it didn't happen to you. But it didn't happen to you. And Charlemagne said, what happened to my people? He goes, but it didn't happen to you. And I didn't do it. And you didn't do it. And so that's the argument. That
okay, well, those small head people that's still collecting them checks, it didn't happen to them either.
Right. But this is why people have like these, they don't know how to argue the point. When somebody dies, right? And they are owed something, those resources go to what is effectively called their estate. And then their next of kin gets to inherit or gets to control or gets the benefit of their estate.
What's in the estate, right?
So what's in their estate. So that's a bad argument because you're talking about, okay, we're descendants of slaves. Then you
put it in their estate and we can go ahead and do what we need to do. And let's move on with it.
There you go. There we go. Okay, that was a side note. Sorry about that.
So y'all need to stop that. Y'all need to stop this. You don't even care. We supposed to care about y'all, but y'all don't even care that you put the rest of us in danger with the stupid ass narrative that everything is racism and that black people don't do shit wrong. Facts. Now, who's going to be the Charlemagne? Well, what about what white people do? But what about what white people do? Here's the problem with that, okay? This is the same thing that the divestors say. What do black people own?
Okay. She starts going off on a tangent. She comes back when she spends about 5 minutes on a tangent. But no, the point that I want to break here, and I'm going to be done with this. The point that I want to break here that she said here, when she behaves like that, she puts me in danger. Mm-hmm. Because as unfair as we want to scream, I am treated based on what other black men do. I am treated by law enforcement, by society, by employers, by random people on the street. I am treated and handled based on their interactions with other black men. Now, are white men treated that way? No. Is it fair? No. It is what it is.
Right.
Until we decide to take control of our own narrative and our own behavior, until we decide to start policing the behaviors of our own people, we are all going to be victimized because some little dumpster bunny is out here doing bad stuff. This is not, this situation with this young lady. Let me be clear. This is not, we need to protect all black women type of shit.
No, see,
This
that's how the people trying to spin it. Not to cut you
and
off,
that's not
but
it.
that's the part that be pissing me off about this because now her family sitting up here, they got a lawyer and they got all of this, and oh, she was such a pillar of the community, and oh, she was a saint and all this. Nah, tell the truth about what happened. I mean, should she have died? No. Did she contribute? Yeah. This is they trying to spin the whole narrative like she was in the upstanding citizen and she was just in Kroger, buying grocery and just minding her own business. And as soon as she walked out the store, the police shot her. Like, yeah, stop it. Stop it.
That's why I'm thinking if this girl, Almanac, if they don't come out with this damn video in the next months or so, my God. That's why I'm not jumping squarely on that she was in there doing it because they're not behaving in a manner in which they say that they got the goods on her. If they had the goods on her, they would, some pieces of that video would have been
seeped out by now.
There you go. There you go. That's why I'm not so. And I was on Chaotic Truths podcast the other day, and I said to them, I said, I can't, because they keep they're convicting this girl, and I keep saying I cannot believe you guys got me up here defending Thotzilla. I don't want to be defending Thotzilla, but look, when we talk about the police officer, we always be like, well, let all the facts come out. Well, let all the facts come out.
I mean, we got enough facts to say that it was issues on both sides. Yes, but yeah, I can't sit here and be like, she didn't do anything wrong and they just shot, just came out blazing because that ain't what happened.
I want to remove I'm going to remove the shoplifting and just deal with the altercation. She should not have been combative. The moment that cop approached her car, she should have turned off her vehicle. She should have put it in gear. You understand what I'm saying? Even if she wasn't going to come out of the car, even if she was going to be difficult coming out of the car, she should have had enough awareness to understand that a running vehicle to a cop in his mind,
you asking for trouble.
It's an excuse, especially when you got this dingleberry who's going to be, RoboCop and jump in front of the goddamn car.
Yeah, that.
From my understanding, that is not police protocol when you're approaching a suspect in the car. You don't jump in front of it.
You actually saw a video. Was a guy. He was, I think he was like a trainer or something at the police academy, and I guess I'll put that in my video. And he was talking about that. He was like, I mean, that's like one of the first things. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get in the front. You don't want to get in the back for obvious reasons. So why did he get in front of the car? Because at one point he actually has his hand on the hood.
Yep.
I'm like, because that's I was like, if she hit this gas, it's over with.
She did not hit, and that's the
she
thing.
Didn't. But I mean, I was before all of that was going on.
That's what they're actually, when the police chief came out and gave that press conference, they said that she hit the gas. She did not hit the gas. Let me tell you something. He shot her before the car moved. He shot her as she was turning the steering wheel, which was dumb. She was turning the steering wheel and he shot her. And the car started rolling. Because she shot her. Foot came off the brake. That's why the car ended up 50 yards down the road.
In the partition. Halfway in the store. Because I mean, that was dangerous in itself.
Yep, I'm done with this. I'm just pissed, but I'm done with this. You got any final words? We're gonna get on up out of here.
I mean, like you said, since they say they had the video, go ahead and let it out. Let us see what's going on. Because I mean, the longer they try to drag this out, the worse it's gonna get. Because I did see somebody was talking about having a rally and protesting and all this different kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did have the rally. I did see some footage of the rally.
Okay,
but I don't believe this is going to turn into a Floyd thing or a Mike Brown thing. I don't believe that at all. There's just too much that she did wrong. But let me tell you something. If it come out that girl didn't steal nothing, we got a whole.
That's when it's going to pop off. I'm just saying.
I got I got the feeling. I got a feeling.
They don't have no video. There's no
Hey,
video.
Yeah. Lead. I got a lead. I got a feeling. What do you think about my feelings?
They are amazing.
Yes. I wonder if he's gonna touch on this. I'm gonna hit him up and see if he gonna speak on the situation, see what's going on. He been quiet last couple of days.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
I'm part of the mastermind, so I actually.
Me too.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Were you on last night?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know you were.
Yeah. I've been day one.
All right. Hang back for a second.
Okay. I know he was.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten.
I want to show you this real quick. Check this out.
Okay.
This is tomorrow.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need.
Bruh, y'all been taking L's. I swear this last week y'all been taking L's.
That brother right there is the face of stupid.
He's gonna be like the rest of them.
He's the new face of stupid, in my opinion. He's the new face of stupid. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Almond, hang back.
Okay.
Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can do, can't even get loose. I'm on a pedestal.